What's going on there, guys? Welcome back to a special episode of the Craftavore Tastes today. And why is it special? Well, because the beer that I'm going to be reviewing in this episode is my own. Yes. So, if you follow me on Instagram, and a link to my Instagram is available on the upper right-hand corner of the desktop site for the channel. Or you can obviously just, search the Craftavore Tastes or hashtag the Craftavore Tastes in Instagram and you'll find my profile. But for folks that were following me, a couple of weeks ago, I posted a couple of photos, some pictures of me homebrewing for the first time in 4 years. Yeah, so I said that I was going to do a review of this beer. I'm a little bit nervous, to be perfectly honest with you. But I said, hey, if I can go out there and I can review other folks' beers, obviously other breweries' beers, I should be able to be objective and review my own. It's only fair. So yeah, a couple of things about this beer. You'll notice that in the tile for this particular episode, you'll see that the beer is from Irving Brewing Company. And the name of the beer is Little Sunnyside, and it is a session New England style IPA. So there's a lot to unpack there, and let me kind of explain it really quickly. So Irving Brewing Company is the name of my home brewery that I created and gave it to, almost 6 years ago now. And the reason being was that it was a homage to the town that I grew up in, which is Irvington, New York, which happens to be the hometown of the famous American author Washington Irving. You'll see basically like in the logo that I created, and I even got a custom tap handle, which is kind of cool. I'm going to pull on it right now. I'm not going to pull the camera over there that you can see it, but if you go to my Instagram, I actually took a pretty cool shot of the tap head that I had made maybe 4 years ago now. And so that's kind of what, Irving Brewing Company is. So Session New England Style IPA, coming in at a nice and hefty 5.2% ABV. What is a Session New England Style IPA? Well, basically, that's me covering up for some mistakes. Yeah, so I originally intended this beer was a New England Style IPA. I was obviously giving that style a shot for my first dive back into home brewing in quite some time. And I really originally shot for this beer to come in at 6.5% ABV, and it ended up coming in at 5.2% ABV. So lots of reasons there as to why, I missed the ABV by quite a long shot. And part of it is that I actually got a new brewing rig a number of months ago, and I've kind of been tinkering with it these last couple of months to kind of get it to where I want it to be. And that is the Brewer's Edge Mash and Boil. So I went electric route because I wanted to have the opportunity to be able to brew inside when winter comes around, and just don't have a tremendous amount of space in my garage. So this was like the perfect setup. It's made by Williams Brewing, I think it is. Check it out. Just Google, Brewer's Edge Mash and Boil. You'll kind of see what the unit is. It was pretty sweet. But yeah, I'd never brewed on it before. So threw me a lot of curveballs. Couple of mistakes that I obviously made is that New England style IPA, the malt bill is, packed full with oats and wheat and all that other kind of stuff. And kind of encountered a slight bit of a stuck sparge there for a bit that I had to work through. Forgot to put rice hulls in the malt bill. So like that really kind of knocked down my efficiency pretty severely. But I'm learning and I'm getting used to kind of this new system, and it was my first beer. So, a Session New England Style IPA it is at 5.2% ABV. All right, so give me a second here. I'm just going to go take a nice little pull off my tap handle here, and then we're going to review this sucker. We'll see what happens, all right? So let's go ahead. Going on over here, I'm just going to nice pour this. I've had it actually here sitting on the kegerator for a couple of days now, and it's pretty much all nicely carved up and all set and ready to go. Looks absolutely beautiful. So, all right, let's take a look at the appearance of this beer. All right, so beer comes in an extremely, extremely pale, super light, kind of yellowish kind of color. The SRM on this, I was shooting for something along this range, somewhere around like a 4. So I wanted it to come in pretty light. This is a little bit lighter than I was expecting. It's got kind of a little bit of that kind of milkiness kind of hue to it. It reminds me in appearance, now, in appearance only, I don't think it's going to taste the same way, but it reminds me a lot of a beer from Other Half that I had, which was Double Dry Hopped O. It has that kind of just obviously milky kind of like, white kind of appearance going on. But it actually looks pretty freaking decent, man. Like, I got to give myself some credit. You got some nice kind of full on haze, but it's actually kind of clean, which is kind of cool, man. Like, obviously carb level is going to increase a little bit here as it kind of sits on the kegerator just a little bit more, but perfectly fine for serving temperature. So, appearance, I'm going to give myself a decent little pat on the back. Looks pretty good, man. All right. So let's go ahead and give ourselves an aroma. Not bad. Not bad. So, hops that I used on this beer was Citra, Mosaic, and Amarillo. So, I'm getting a decent amount of kind of pineapple in the nose. A little bit of kind of like melon characteristic going on there a bit. It was kind of citra heavy, but I'm not really getting any kind of sense of like orange or like anything like that. It's mostly kind of pineapple and kind of melon forward. Yeah, the aroma's kind of nice. I did not double dry hop it. So basically, there was no hops in the boil. Everything went in at Whirlpool. And then I did one dry hop about 4 days in at high Krausen to, obviously that spur on during fermentation, those biotransformation of those hop oils. It's kind of like the standard for, New England style IPAs this day. So I only dry hopped it that one time. So yeah, pineapple melon. It smells kind of nice. It's kind of subdued. It's kind of, it's gentle is kind of the best way I can describe it. But yeah, I mean, not too bad. Not too many off flavors that I can pick up on. There's some little things here and there that's kind of there, but yeah, overall, honestly, like, for my first beer in 4 years, I'm actually kind of pleased, to be perfectly honest with you. So let's go ahead and give her a taste. Cheers. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, it's clean, and at 5.2%, ABV, it's crushable. I'm not getting a tremendous amount of off flavors. One of the obvious issues is that it's just kind of, it's super kind of light, right? It wasn't my intention to make it a super, super crushable, like sessionable, New England style IPA or, hazy pale ale, I suppose you can even call it, right, at this ABV. I'm getting a little too cheeky there with calling it a session New England style IPA, but whatever, it's my beer, so I'm going to call it what I want. Yeah, I mean, it's super, super light. It is extremely crushable. You got a little bit of hints of kind of pineapple melon. You've got like a little bit of kind of like lemon going on in it too, which is kind of interesting. Going back in for another taste. Yeah. What I will say, obviously, is that it lacks, tremendous amount of body. It lacks... At the end of the day, it's borderline little to no malt to speak of. In a lot of ways, I would almost kind of call it hop water, to be perfectly honest with you. But, in terms of the way that the beer is kind of delivering on the palate, I don't really get any particular off flavors. It does kind of have like a little to no lingering bitterness, but there is something a little bit there that's hanging on kind of just right. So there's things about it that are just super wrong and I just dislike. And then there's some things about it that like are pretty decent. So I'm going to give it one more taste and then I'm going to give it an honest rating. So hold on one sec. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. All right, so rating time. I'm pretty comfortable giving that. I'm going to give it a 3 caps. I think that's fair. It is a below average beer. Considering it really isn't what I set out to brew. And so that's a result of a tremendous amount of mistakes. And obviously just kind of getting used to, a new system. But I have to be fair. And so I think, 3.5 being an average beer, I think from the perspective of the beer doesn't really deliver on what I wanted it to brew, yet still, at the end of the day, is something that is kind of super drinkable. It's nice. I'm going to enjoy kind of knocking off that 5-gallon keg of it. It's a perfect like sipper, day drinker while you're watching football and something like that. So it's cool from that perspective. But yeah, I'm definitely going to give it that 3 caps. All right. So not the best thing in the world, but not the worst either. And, I'm probably going to start home brewing some more now and look forward to creating some more episodes, with my future home brews. And hopefully I kind of dial things in and get things a little bit more in order and they turn out a little bit more what I'm expecting. All right, guys. So 3 caps for the Irving Brewing Company, Little Sunnyside Session New England Style IPA coming in at 5.2% ABV. That'll do it for this episode. I'll hope you join me again for another episode where I drink, I review, I rate, and I repeat. Cheers.